In September 2009, under the promise of progress and development, through consultation and collaboration of Uganda's top corporate and government minds, the CEO Summit was founded. "200 attendees convened to discuss the global financial crunch and how to mitigate its ripple effects.
We can no longer afford to export raw material, and if we are to make consumption in Africa grow, we must export finished products."
What this crisis, in large part has shown is that companies that are, that made use of the easy borrowing conditions to leverage themselves out, to gear themselves up very heavily, are paying the price now as financing has dried up.
In 2011, the second CEO Summit kicked off. The purpose that year was to plan the transformation agenda to reignite the economy.
But we estimate that the total investment required to be able to fully develop the oil basin here is in the order of $10 billion. And that's going to be spread between the upstream, the midstream and the downstream that I just explained.
10 CEO clubs were formed that year to carry on the mandate of transforming Uganda.
The priorities are clear. As the Deputy Governor said, we have to reduce inflation. Inflation is like someone with high blood pressure. We have to reduce that high blood pressure.
Today, we celebrate the 4th anniversary of this prestigious think tank, a lab of research and analysis that will continue to deliver ideas and policy for the government to implement. This year's theme will be directing energy resources to support agriculture in Uganda as a first step to full-scale industrialization. Key partnerships with the Ministry for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, International Monetary Fund, and the banking sector have generated resources for the CEO Summit to create an apprenticeship club. 13 noted leaders within Uganda's corporate sector pioneered the launch of a CEO Apprenticeship scheme in 2012. Over the course of 12 months, CEOs from various institutions have mentored, coached, and molded these upcoming men and women as the next crop of CEOs in waiting.
There are certain things that you cannot learn even in a classroom setting, but the experiences that are shared by the different CEOs and within the CEO Apprenticeship colleagues enables you to get the deeper understanding of how to deal with with issues, and those issues is what is critical for you to become a leader.
University of Sunderland in the United Kingdom, Strathmore Business School in Kenya, Duke Corporate Education, and many others have become gateways for further research.
We have reached a very historical moment this morning as CEO Summit is now being joined by Strathmore Business School in conducting this apprenticeship program.
For us, it's a great pleasure in the sense that we are bridging two countries that should have been one altogether, Kenya and Uganda.
Africa's countries are leading the pack of the world's fastest growing economies. The success of the Apprenticeship Club is preparing Uganda's talented leaders with the necessary skills to allow the country compete on an international level.
I feel extremely happy that we can build the future directors, the future minds, the ideas of Uganda and Kenya and Eastern Africa.
The first thing, I think the greatest thing for me is that it's shown me, first of all, that it's possible to be a CEO. Being a CEO, like Herman said today, it's not an art, it's not a science, it's just the way you project yourself, just the way you work at what you're given at that particular time.
Those companies which fail to define who's my customer eventually loses, because if you don't define your customer, how can you think for him? How can you anticipate for him? How can you innovate for him?
Remember, we talked of things that are happening which we don't know, which we are not very sure of. It means you need to keep on the mark to know how things are like to evolve. That is what we call strategic agility.
I see this as a way of grooming, information sharing, coaching and mentoring.
So it really prepares you for really being a great CEO, and I think it's a really good initiative for us. And I'm sure that by the time we get to those levels where we become CEOs, I think we'll really be great CEOs. So it's really been a good experience for me.
If you can deliver profit consistently to scale in the right manner, I think that is the best service you've done to community.
I have liked the fact that we've had experienced CEOs, coming, talking to us, sharing the experiences, and also the ability to interact with them outside of the forum, outside of the presentation. I've liked the material we've been given to read and some of the recommendations.
The CEO Summit has set the stage for the development of urgent intellectual infrastructure, where innovative and homegrown solutions for the country's challenges are created. The future of this think tank is overflowing with opportunity for the CEOs who mentor, the apprentices that learn, and for the nation that will forge a strong economic foundation.